What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live Sunday stock talk this evening from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, before we get going with today's live stream, if you're new and tuning in for the first time, definitely consider smashing that subscribe button below and make sure to hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video for you guys. We tend to do these Sunday streams pretty much every Sunday religiously, unless if life happens or I'm sick, on vacation, that kind of thing. And of course, I'll update you guys in our Discord group chat, which I do not have pulled up right now, but if you're not in our Discord group chat, by the way, that's of course totally free. We do not charge for anything associated with this channel, of course. So if you're not in it already, link for that should be down below. If you have issues with it, just let me know and I'll try to help get you in there for sure. But we have over 200 members in there now. I've lost track actually, like 210, 220, something like that. So we got a lot of you piling in there day by day, and it's awesome to see that continue to grow. But yeah, we'd love to have you here for those future streams and all that good stuff. So if you're new, like I said, smash the subscribe button and we'll just go ahead and get right into it. I just want to make sure really quickly that our stream is up and that we are doing all right. It looks like we're doing okay so far. So if we have any issues during the stream at all, just let me know in the chat. And then of course, that's another thing. If you guys have any questions, any stocks, any futures, anything like that you want to have me take a look at, just let me know and I will take a look at that and give you my best opinion on that, which for that actually we're gonna, never mind, we'll just stick with Ninjatrader. But just an overall update before we really get into just overall market conditions and everything. Obviously the market has been super bullish as of late, but I know a lot of you guys, you love the just overall profit loss updates, just kind of how I'm doing or how other traders that are on YouTube are doing. I know there's a lot of I don't know, I guess a lot riding on that apparently, where everybody wants to know everybody's profit and losses. And we have been on Ninjatrader now for just over a week, 6 total trading sessions, I believe, 6 or 7. It was a Thursday, so yeah, 6 or 7 total trading days we've been on Ninjatrader. We do not have all of our money in Ninjatrader. We haven't even put half of our money actually in Ninjatrader. We started out with $3,000 in the account on Ninjatrader, just trying out a couple of E-mini contracts, specifically Nasdaq, which for those of you that were wondering about just how much does it cost to get into a contract intraday, because their intraday margin requirements can literally change on a day-to-day basis. I did confirm that the Nasdaq 100 NQ is $1,000 per contract. The E-mini S&P 500, however, is back to $500 per contract. But of course, the Nasdaq is much more volatile than the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, all of that stuff. So it makes sense, right, that they still have that at $1,000. So if you guys are wondering about that, yeah, it is $1,000. But as most of you know, that is still way more cheap than 99% of platforms intraday. So yeah, like I said, we started out with $3,000 in the portfolio 6-7 days ago. After fees and commissions, we're up right around $800. When I looked at it Friday, it was around $810, and I forgot about fees and commissions being added or deducted from that, so it dropped us down $15. So we're actually up right around $800, which I won't complain about, in all honesty. Just over a week, $3,000 turned into $3,800. That's right around 25 to 30, I don't know, 25, 27% profit. So I will not complain about that at all, personally. But I guess some people may be able to do better. But I was primarily trading one contract at a time. And then over the last few days, we bumped it up, or actually I think just the last 2 days, Thursday, Friday, we bumped it up to 2 contracts. And I'm thinking this week we're probably going to try to bump it up to 3. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about, because a lot of people think, man, that's a lot of risk, isn't it? Trading 3 E-mini contracts when you only have $4,000 in your account. That's a lot of risk, isn't it? Of course it's a lot of risk, but that's the thing, is you have to be able to know how to manage your risk to your best ability to make sure you're not going to just blow up your account, get a margin call, that kind of thing. What we do with Ninjatrader is we get the chart trader pulled up, and we have specific strategies where, and that's the thing, I mean, before we try anything with actual money, they make it so easy where you can switch over to your sim account, and that's exactly what we do. If we want to try anything out, we will go over to the sim account and we will just try like a lot of these. I would say pretty much every single one outside of one or two of these we don't even use. I need to actually go through tomorrow and just delete the ones I don't use. But I mean, you can see like I labeled them specifically. Like I'm like, I'll increase this after gaining confidence. I just know exactly what each one is for, and you can literally go in and you can make as many. You just go to custom and you can just try out any type of method. So if you're new to just a platform, I'll just show you kind of what it looks like. So when you go into your custom strategy, this is just where you set up your what I call rules, essentially. Like, where do you want your stop loss to be? How many contracts are you going to trade? What's your target profit? And the beautiful thing is you can have more than one target. Like, say you have 5 contracts, for example, or even just 2. Say you start out with like 1 or 2 contracts, like I did. So you got 2 contracts, and you're like, okay, we're trading Nasdaq 100. I'll go ahead and cover my first at 3 points of profit, because that's $60, $56 after your fees and commissions, round trip. So $56. I'll go ahead and cover one at 2 to 3 points, whatever. And then I'm gonna leave my second one as a runner, and then I don't want to be greedy. I'll go ahead and cover it at 15 points, which is a decent profit on NQ. If you're scalping, that's $300 essentially. So you're talking $360 of profit on that total trade. Now, you would set up also your stop loss, where you're saying this is the line in the sand. Like, I don't want to blow up my account. I don't want to get a margin call. I don't want to be a stupid trader. Like, I know my risk. Your risk is defined going into every single trade. The stop loss that I've been using for the most part is right around 15 points. And so you got to think, this is talking like in terms of ticks. So 15 points, 4 ticks per point on NQ. That's going to be 60 ticks total. And then obviously, like I said, whatever you want to set your stop loss at. I'll show you guys kind of like how it would work for 2 contracts. Let's say you wanted to go ahead and cover one at, let's just say 3 points. So 3 times 4, that'd be 12 ticks. And then you could say add, I want to add a second target. And then we'll put this at 1 and 1. That way you have your 2 contracts, obviously. So one's covered at 5 points, or sorry about that, 3 points. And then your next one, what do we say? 15 points, so that'd be another 60. And then, of course, like we said, the stop loss is also going to be at 60 points. And then from there, you could just let it run, essentially. If you wanted to try it, you could save it as a template, put whatever you want to call it like trial, 2 contract, Nasdaq 100 E-mini run or NQ run, whatever. Point being is you can save it, try it out on your simulation account first, which is why my simulation account is down like $4,000, because literally any idea that I have, I just use the simulation account as I call it like my magic whiteboard, essentially. Whatever idea that pops up in my mind as a potential good trading system, I just throw it out there on the simulation account, try it out 15 to 30 times, and however profitable it ends up being, or however what the win ratio is. If it feels good enough to me, then I'll go ahead and try it out with my money. And if I don't like it, then I know that it just wasn't a good idea, and whatever. I didn't lose any money because I wasn't using my real money. So it's definitely a lot better, in my opinion, than Thinkorswim, for sure. Because with Thinkorswim, as far as I know, somebody can let me know if I'm wrong, but I don't think they even have anything like this specifically. And if they do, it's not as easy applicable, where you could literally just alternate boom boom within your sim to your actual portfolio. So you could literally, I wouldn't suggest this, but you could literally trade out 5 or 10 times and say that it won 10 out of 10, and you're just super confident about that method. You could easily just say, you know what, this is working, boom, let's go over to my main account and then just get right to work. I wouldn't suggest that, of course, but it's just super easy though. Once you get used to the Ninjatrader platform, such a great platform, in my opinion. I'm definitely glad that I switched. I've made already way more money than I know I would have made with TD Ameritrade, because with TD Ameritrade I was just trading micros. I barely even had enough money to trade one E-mini contract, which I'll be the first one to say that if you're fairly new, I would not, don't even hop into Ninjatrader, in my opinion. Stick with like a Thinkorswim, something that kind of babysits you, so to speak, where they have a high margin requirement, because a lot of you guys, because I was the same way when I was brand new, I thought, sky's the limit. They're only saying $500 to $1,000 per contract requirement. I got $5,000. I'm going to trade 5 contracts. I'm going to cover at 10 points per contract, and I'm just going to get rich overnight. And that's not how it works, guys. So definitely learn the ins and outs, so to speak. Get a little bit of experience under your belt, just trading the micros or something over on TD Ameritrade first. Again, that's just my own opinion. And then after at least a few months or so, go ahead and hop over at that point to Ninjatrader once you prove you're a little bit profitable, you're not blowing up accounts and whatnot. You've learned to manage risk. That's the main thing. Like when you hear all these stories about people blowing up their accounts and whatnot, it's because they're not managing their risk. And that's what I love about these ATM strategies, is it literally, it's just your line in the sand. And the thing is, because I've caught myself, I've lost a trade. I've lost only one trade in the last 2 weeks, or week and a day, or 2 days, whatever it is. Since hopping over to Ninjatrader, we're what are we now? 7, I forget the exact number. This last week we went 12 for 12. The 1 or 2 days we traded the week before, I don't know what we went. We went 7 for 8 or something like that. Just one trade we lost. And the reason I lost it is I let my feelings get into the trade. The trade was down 7 points. My stop loss is 15. I dropped down to 8, and for some reason, I felt like I needed to move my stop loss up. I moved it up to 10 points. Sure enough, boom, it got hit 5 seconds later. I got stopped out. Luckily, it was only one contract, so it was a $120 loss. But point is if I just let it run, I actually would have ended up at least at break even, and at that point I probably would have just went ahead and cut that trade, just how the chart was looking. It was a bad trade from the start. But the thing is once you set up something and you know that it works, just let it run. I cannot stress that enough. Let it run. Do not try to outthink yourself and think I need to move my stop loss up, I need to push my close order up because it's going in my direction so quick that I'm going to get another 5 to 10 points out of it. Don't do that. Know from the beginning, this is what my reward is, this is what my risk is, and then just let the trade run. I'm to the point where I was kind of joking around, but I'm half serious about that. I'm thinking that whenever I submit a trade, I'm just going to walk away from the laptop, because it's just a trade at the end of the day. If I lose, I document it, I go look at it the end of the day, and then I move on. It's just a damn trade. I mean, it's just one of 10 to 20 trades in a given week. I can make it back in that same trading day if needed. It depends on the day, obviously. But literally, you got to have something that works. You can't that's why I said you need to try it out into your simulation account at the minimum 30 trades. Bare minimum. I say 100, but a bare minimum 30 trades. The win ratio that I like personally is anything over 85-90%. A lot of other traders disagree. I would say if you go and look at all these quote-unquote gurus, they'll try to say, if you win 60% of the time, then you're doing great as a trader. Bullshit. That's just not me. I got to win 90-95+% of the time. So my type of trading is kind of seen as pussy trading, in all honesty. I'm not going to bullshit you guys. I don't try to get 30 points, 50 points. I don't set 30, 50 point stop losses on Nasdaq. I just don't do it. I have my stop loss set at around 15 points, and then I literally cover my profit within the first 5 at the max 10 points usually. Now, if I'm trading, say, the micro, where I'm just kind of I think overall in the day the market's going to go up 100 points or something, I'll maybe throw a micro contract on and just let it run because it's such a small amount of money. It doesn't really matter. But when it comes to the E-mini Nasdaq, I'm just looking to get in and get out. I know that my system works. Like I said, we didn't even lose a single trade this last week. We went 12 for 12, and we profited $500 trading 1 to 2 contracts primarily. We only traded 2 contracts, either Thursday and Friday or just Friday. But yeah, I mean, like I said, me personally, I like winning I do not like losing. And I like a style that is going to make me profit over and over and over and over. Like, I want to be able to know, essentially, as long as I'm not being a dumbass, I'm going to make money. We can even get it pulled up real quick. Data series. See how many of my trades we can actually get pulled up here. I guess we can do text and marker. Okay, yeah. So, let's see. So, like I said, guys, I mean, stupid small targets that we're doing. And like I said, we're primarily trading 1. So, yeah, it looks like literally only Friday was the day that we traded 2. And like I said, we only did like 12 trades total. Every trade a winner, of course. It's kind of hard to read that text there, so I apologize for that, how it's like literally in the bars. But as you can see, man, it's hard to see, but like you can see here, entry, I mean, we're in and out in like 1 candle usually, and we're talking usually on average super small point amount. But like I said, the whole point is I want to win over and over and over. I don't want to have to chase my losses, worry about my losses, anything like that. I know that I'm not going to win 100% of my trades, but as long as I can win 95% of the time, I know that I'm going to be a very profitable trader. And in the long haul, I'll do even better, because I'll start kind of like this trade, for example. I got in on a perfect breakout. And even though my limit was pretty low, it was supposed to be 5 points, but for some reason it got set at 4. But I got in on a perfect 3-bar play. Here you can see we had our breakout candle here, we had our pause candle here, and then we had it looked like it was breaking out. I waited for a little bit of confirmation because it was bouncing around. As you can see, we had a long wick. I would call it a second pause candle, essentially. So this is more of a 4-bar play, actually. 4-bar, 4 candle, whatever you want to call it, play. And then once we confirmed the breakout here, I went ahead and hopped in, actually a little bit prematurely, but I went ahead and hopped in just because how the market was overall looking. It looked like we were building a solid support, and then sure enough, it ended up breaking out even more. Once I'm a little bit more experienced, I'll learn to let it just ride out, essentially, get a few more points. But like I said, my main thing is I just want to, right now, I just want to be consistent profits. That's what I cannot stress enough to you guys that are newer, is just get the consistent money. It doesn't have to be so, like, everybody makes it so much more difficult than it has to be. When you're trading the E-minis, the Nasdaq, for example, 1 point is $20. On Ninjatrader, after your fees and commissions, it's like $16 a profit. So I mean, 1 contract, 1 point, I mean, yeah, it's only $16. But say you're trading 5 contracts and you only got 1 point, not 2, not 5, just 1 point, and you're trading 5 contracts. That's like an $80 trade. And it literally only takes seconds in most cases for that to happen, sometimes a minute. But usually these trades are so quick. And like I said, I mean, really, it's pussy trading, to be honest, but it works. Just go with what works. As long as you're not getting in at the absolute worst time when it's obviously forming a top, a lot of resistance, and you decide to go long on some random pullback candle and just get flushed out. I mean, obviously, you still got to use just basic trading 101, but as long as you're not getting in at just the dumbest times, I mean, you can get 1 to 5 points on every trade. Like I said, I mean, this one's another 3-point winner right there. I mean, these are just give-me's, essentially. Apparently, we did do a 3 contract at some point on that one, but, or maybe it was 2 different trades. No, yeah, I think it was 1 trade. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much for like this last week. And like I said, as you can see, I mean, anytime you see that it says target up here, that's when the trade's being closed out. It means I hit my target and I'm out of the trade with a win. So you can see we did only like 1 short all week. When the arrow points down and it says entry, that means you're shorting. When the arrow's pointing up and says entry, that obviously means long. So we only did one short this week. I don't really short the market like at all. If I do, I'm looking for like 1 or 2 points. Like you can see this trade here, it was just blatant obvious. It was starting to break down a little bit. So I was like, you know what, let's try to scalp this for a point real quick. So that's what we did. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't like to make things overcomplicated. I get the best entry every single time? No, but that's the beauty of my strategy at the same time, is I don't have to be right. Like, I don't have to be 100% right. Like this trade right here, and I even marked it down in my notes. I have a little journal that I keep right here at the trading table, and I marked it as soon as I did the trade. I was like, that was a horrible trade. Like, I'm lucky I did not get flushed on this trade. As you can see, it just popped up just enough where we got out in time. But I mark it down, I go back, I learn from it. What can I see now? I can see it's obviously forming a downtrend in the short term. Should not place the trade, but that's the thing, is when your target is so small, you don't even have to be right a lot of the time. Now, it's better to be right than be wrong, of course, but you don't have to be right on every single trade. Where when you're going for, say, 20 points, 50 points, like a lot of these guys tell you guys to do, you got to be right. Like, you have to have the direction right, you have to have the entry right, or you have to have a way bigger stop loss, which I don't want to risk that much at the end of the day. Again, it's just me. Maybe that'll change over time, and as I get bigger and all that stuff, maybe I'll start risking a little bit more money so I can gain more money, of course. But I just wanted to prove to everybody that you don't have to hold trades long term. You don't have to swing trade the E-minis. You don't need to have like a fancy setup like you can see here. The only thing we have set up is ticks. We have a 200 SMA. We have a 50 SMA, which we don't really pay a lot of attention to other than whenever we get these crosses, because a lot of time when we get the cross, we get a little bit more bullish and we decide to enter more trades throughout the day. Or in the case of whenever it crosses bearish, sometimes we can be hesitant about entering a trade, but it really just depends on the market overall condition, which goes to the second part of this stream, which is just the ridiculous run that this market's been on lately. We'll go ahead and get these numbers off here real quick. The ridiculous run that the market's been on lately has made it a little bit easier. I won't lie. It's a little bit easier to trade right now more than ever, just because the market just keeps melting up. There's no news. There's no catalyst to really bring the market down right now. And it's just pretty much every dip is being bought with a vengeance. So it's like, honestly, if you're somebody who just likes to try to fish for bottoms, as soon as you see 3 to 4 bars of support trying to build, you got a pretty good chance on, if you get in on that 4th or 5th bars that starts to break out, you're probably going to make money on every single trade, just because almost every single dip, oops, don't know what I just did right there, every single dip is being bought. I mean, you can just see we're back to August 20th, what was that, Thursday or Friday. You can just see, like, even on these bigger dips, we were like, oh wow, the market may finally go down today. We had an attempt recovery, boom, we got smacked down. We had another one, boom, smacked down. Looked like it was finally going to have a legit red day. And then it went up, it tested, it failed. So it's like, okay, bears are holding their ground. But then it built a random support. Built a support, whole bunch of buying came in, and then from there, it was a wrap. And that's how it's been for, God, ever since April, essentially. It's just been a buy the dip every single time. Now, am I advocating to literally just buy every dip? No, absolutely not. Do not buy blindly. It's stupid how people will just think that the market's going to keep going straight up or that the market's going to keep going straight down. People trade with their hearts way too much. It's fine to be bullish or it's fine to be bearish, but at the end of the day, I always say trade the trend. The trend is your friend. That's why we have only had one short since we started trading on Ninjatrader. We had one short, I believe it was Thursday. I don't remember. You guys can go back. We were talking about that short. It was for 1 point. I mean, it's just a blatant, obvious, good trade set up there for just a quick 1 point scalp. And outside of that, it's everything else has been long. I don't know the total number of trades that I've had. I want to say somewhere around 20 trades going back the last 6-7 trading sessions, maybe a little more. I don't know, 18 to 25, somewhere around there. And like I said, just one trade has been short. Why? Because the trend is our friend. As long as the market just continues to go in this upward trend, go ahead and zoom it out a little bit, just so you guys get some perspective on this. I mean, just look at that. I mean, yeah, we had a couple choppy sessions, kind of just trading sideways, consolidation, essentially. Had a strong resistance around 11,258 roughly. Solid support right around that 10,940 to 50 level roughly. And then we got the breakout here, got rejected, and then a little bit of consolidation. Boom, they broke it out. And then from there, it's just keep on marching up. So where's it going to stop next? I mean, it's hard to say, in all honesty. We're up above the resistance 1 level already, once again. Pivot, long ways down, 11,400 roughly, so about 190, 200 points from where we're at right now. Next stop looks to be 11,650, maybe even close to 11,700. I mean, it's hard to even wrap my head around it, like, as I'm reading, and I'm like, God, there's no way that that's right. Because I remember this was like around 9,500. It seems like just yesterday. I was joking around in our Discord group chat that, hell, the Nasdaq's going to end up passing the Dow at this point by the end of the year, how it's running. So I don't like it. I'm not going to lie. I do not like it. I do not like a one-direction market because you know at some point it's going to end up falling on its face. I do not like that, especially since it's an election year. I hate when a market is super directional right around election time because there's a good chance that it's going to reverse. And I got my own little conspiracy on that, but I won't really go into it. I just think at some point they're going to end up pulling the rug on this thing. I still think, though, that the bottom is probably around 9,500 to 10,000. But you got to think, I mean, that's a big drop now from where we're at. At this point, this thing's probably going on up to 11,700 before it remotely finds any legit resistance, because that's the thing. At the end of the day, there's no catalyst. There's no catalyst for it to go down. And that's what matters at the end of the day. The market is all about catalysts. And whenever there's no legit catalyst, the market's going to keep going in the same direction that it's going. Now, say the market had continued going down like it was in February and March, and there was no catalyst for it to go up, then what would it do? It'd probably keep going down just like in every other bear market. But since it whipsawed so fast back up to the upside, and there's no real catalyst to really bring it down. I mean, coronavirus, it's still around, but nothing's really changed. It hasn't really gotten worse or anything. It hasn't gotten better much, but it hasn't gotten any worse. States aren't really locking down again, anything like that. And even with no stimulus being passed, I'm a contrarian here. I think that the fact that no stimulus was passed is actually bullish for the markets. That's just me, because a lot of people are thinking, oh, the market's priced this in, and I mean, I was on board with that at first, but then as the talks continued to break down and it was starting to look more and more obvious like there was going to be no deal, the market, specifically the Nasdaq, continued to keep going straight up. So I was like, you know what, maybe the market isn't pricing in a stimulus pass. Gold was. That's why you saw gold take a pretty big hit for a couple days when there was no deal made. But the markets overall were not pricing in a stimulus package, in my opinion. Haven't checked our chat in a while. Of course, if you guys have any questions or anything, we got a couple of y'all here. How's it going, Mike B and Mike Kane? How's it going? Tough to get started on the E-minis. Yeah, so I don't know if you're still in here, Mike Kane. Yeah, getting started, I will say there is an adjustment. I don't want to make it seem like it's easy to trade the E-minis. I will say there's definitely a psychological, keep that pulled up so I don't forget to address Mike B. I don't want to make it seem like it's easy, because there is a psychological deal there where when you're trading the micro E-mini, say MNQ for example, it's 1/10 the size of the NQ. So it's 1/10 to get in. So on Ninjatrader, for example, it's $100 per contract to get in. So $100, you're already thinking, oh, I'm only having to put in $100. Now, obviously, you could get a margin call if you're being retarded either way, but you're already thinking, no, I'm only putting in $100. I'm gonna set my stop loss at minus 25 points. So 25 points, I mean, you're only risking $50, $2 per point. You're only risking $50. Now, say you were risking 25 points on NQ, the E-mini Nasdaq. 25 points is what is that? 500, right? My math gets all messed up. Is it $500 to 20? Yeah, like $500 per contract. If I got my math right, my math might be wrong. Times 10, yeah, that'd be 500. Yeah, $500. Man, I got like a crazy brain tonight. $500. So I mean, it's a huge difference. That's why, like me, I'm only risking. At first, I thought I was only gonna risk 5 to 10 points. Found out real quickly on the simulation account, 5 to 10 points, you can go down pretty quickly on NQ. 15 to 20 seems to be the hot spot. I have mine at 15. If I notice all of a sudden I start getting stopped out, which I doubt just based on how the last week or two's gone, but if I start to like just get stopped out on 15 points, and it looks like 20 seems to be the better number, then I'll probably move it to 20. But even 15 points, I mean, that's $300, where on MNQ it's only $30. So I noticed a huge difference because I traded I think I did one or two MNQ trades on here this last week. One, I got like 15, 20 points. I think the other one was for like a quick 10 to 20 points as well. If I even did two, I might have just did one. But I even noticed, like, because I was trading NQ like pretty much all week, and then I was like, let me go ahead and try an MNQ trade here. And when I did the trade, I just wasn't worried whatsoever. I set my stop loss at 25 points or 20 points, something like that, 20 to 25. And then I set my target at like 20 points on that specific trade, just because I had a good feeling essentially that it was going to go up 20 to 50 points over the next 15 minutes or so. It was close to the end of the market day, and sure enough, it was down roughly 12 points at one point. Didn't phase me one bit. Like, I didn't care. I was like, oh, I'm down $24, whatever, it's not the end of the world. And I just let the trade kind of do whatever. And even on an NQ trade, down 12 points, it wouldn't matter because my stop loss was 15. Now, I'd be sweating bullets because I was only 3 points away from getting stopped out, but right around that 11 to 13 point mark was when it changed direction on me, and then we ended up getting our profit within like the next 2.5 minutes on that trade. But if I was, like I said, if I was trading NQ, I'm not gonna try to lie. I would be sweating bullets. Like I said, down 12 points or whatever, I know I'm getting close to my stop loss. And what I've kind of taken away from that is I need to be comfortable with risking the same amount of points. I want to hit on that for a second, and then I'll address you, Mike B. Actually, you know what? It's easy to address your question. The fill was easy, actually. That I haven't noticed any issues with getting filled on anything so far. Like when I hit buy bid or sell ask if I'm shorting, because obviously whenever I'm buying, I want to get the best price, so I'll buy the bid. That way, if it drops like say half a point or something, I'll get that bid price. I'm up half a point essentially right from the get-go. That's why anytime I'd cover half a point to 1 point on a trade, I'm usually filled on the bid, and then I get my half a point to 1 point usually within seconds. I mean, sometimes it's so quick, Ninjatrader can't even keep up. It'll usually tell you order filled, target achieved, something like that, and sometimes it would be so quick that it would just skip order filled, just say target achieved. Sometimes it would even glitch and say order canceled, to which I would start freaking out and thinking that I didn't get out or something, and it was just my order filled so fast. I was in the trade like half a second essentially. But hopefully that answers the question about how easy was the fill. Keep in mind too, like I said, we've been trading 1 to 3 and primarily 1 to 2 contracts so far. Here in the next week, we're gonna start out tomorrow at 3 contracts, and possibly by the end of the week, bump it up to 4 to 5. Just depends, kind of like I said, the psychology factor at the end of the day. And so yeah, I'll keep you updated too in Discord about how easy it is getting filled and whatnot. But so far, I mean, I haven't had a single issue with getting filled on my 1 to 3 contracts. But keep in mind too that 90 to 95% of my trades are the first hour and a half of trade, which is when you have the most volume. So that might also play into why the fills have been so easy. I've done a couple trades in the late morning, early afternoon, but usually primarily it's first 1 to 2 hours of trade when volume's at the highest. So that might obviously play a part in that as well. But to my point earlier, a few minutes ago, about what I'm starting to like kind of realize now that I've gotten a little bit of experience under my belt with NQ and whatnot, is when you're going to trade these E-minis, once you get over that psychological effect at first, and for everybody it's going to be different, your risk tolerance, all that. I'm naturally kind of more of a wired up, anxiety driven, not driven, but just I'm aware, I'm self-aware that like I have anxiety. I'm not even going to lie to you guys about that. It's not a bad thing to have anxiety or anything like that. Like I legit have a slight anxiety issue, which I am dealing with actually. But once you get over whatever your psychological hurdle is from hopping over from MNQ to NQ, or any E-mini from that matter, MES to ES, MYM to YM, whatever E-mini and micro you're trading, once you get over that hurdle of just realizing that, hey, this is 10x, it's 10x more risk right from the get-go, what I have benefited from the most is when it's showing my P&L up here, I don't have it set to dollars. I have it set to points. And I've noticed that when I just focus on the points, it's a lot easier to let the trade run. Even just earlier this week, when I was only covering like 1 point on most of the trades, I was still thinking in terms of dollars. But I noticed on Friday and even Thursday, just the last 2 trading days, that when I was just strictly I didn't even think about the dollar aspect. I was just thinking about points. Like literally right here on the P&L, it'll show your up or down X amount of points. And when I was just thinking in terms of points, it didn't hardly have any psychological effect on me at all. Versus when I had it set as dollars, I was seeing, like, if I was trading 2 or 3 contracts and I was down 6-7 points, I knew, oh wow, I'm down like $240, $250, which is why, going back to not this last week, but the week before, that's why I moved my stop loss up. I seen, holy crap, I'm down $140. I was only trading 1 contract, but I was down 7-8 points. I was like, wow, I'm down $140, $180. Like, once this thing bounces a little, I'm going to move my stop up and I'm just going to get out of the trade. Like, I was just panicking, essentially. It was my first day or second day of even trading the E-mini, so it took a psychological adjustment, and I'm telling you guys, keep it set. It says right there, displays open profit and loss points. Keep it, and if yours is put at dollars for some reason, if you can, no matter what broker you're with, if you can do this, switch it to points. I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference for the psychological aspect, because again, when I was trading MNQ, that's what lit the light bulb for me. I traded the MNQ trade on like Monday or something like that, and when I saw I was only down like 12 points, I was like, that's 12 points. And, I did do the math real quick and realized, that's $24, whatever. But the main thing I noticed was that since I was looking at it in points, I was like, 12 points, that ain't a lot. It'll bounce back, and next thing you know, I'll be up 5 or 10 points a couple minutes from now. And I literally walked off to get a drink. I didn't even watch the trade. I walked off, got a drink, came back, and I was up, like I said, 5 to 10 points pretty much when I came back, and the trade closed for like up 20, something like that. And it was not nearly as much of an issue as when I had the dollar amount set there. You can take it for what you want, but I definitely suggest that you guys keep that in points, especially when you're first hopping over from the micros to the E-mini, because the E-mini will rip your heart out if you let it. If you see you're down 10, 15 points, and say that for some reason you were cocky and thought that you should start out with 5 contracts right from the get-go, and you see you're down 10 points on each contract, you're down $1,000 when you're used to only seeing that be down maybe $100, it's gonna do a toll on your psychology. You're gonna have to have an iron gut, essentially. And I'm hitting on this so hard just because, for me, it's been really important. It's been an important change to my trading. So it may not seem like much, but it's a lot of times what I found with trading is it's the little things that make a world of difference at the end of the day. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream so far. If you have, definitely smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel out, helps the video out, all that YouTube algorithm BS. So if you're enjoying the stream, definitely smash that thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate it. And like I said, if you're new, we'd love to have you here for future streams. Definitely make sure to smash the subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon right beside it. That way you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. Like I said, we do these every Sunday evening, unless if I'm sick, out of town, something crazy essentially that doesn't happen too often. And like I said, we have that free Discord group chat. Link for that is down in the description box. Looks like we're getting a little pump here. Down in the description box below. And like I said, it's totally free. We don't charge for anything associated with this channel. Don't plan on doing so either. I'm boring. I trade like a puss, to be honest. I cover very quickly. And like here, I would have been out by now. If I was long, I would have been out. I get in, I get out, I make the money and move on. Like I said, we started with $3,000 in our Ninjatrader portfolio just over a week ago, 6-7 trading sessions, and we're up right around $800. You do the math, it's somewhere around like 25 to 28, something like that, % of profit. So I'll definitely take that for just over a week's of money. I'm thinking about going ahead because you all know that I had somewhere around $13,000 to $15,000 in my TD Ameritrade portfolio. I still have a couple $100 in TD Ameritrade because I have a couple option positions on. However, after those are closed out and whatnot, I'll be completely out of TD Ameritrade, but I do have thousands of dollars now. I don't want to make it sound like it's a lot of money. I like emphasize thousands, like it's just a few thousand, whatever. Point is, though, is I have thousands of dollars essentially to put to work if I want to, and talk with my fiance about, like, do I want to go ahead and step it up this early and bump it on up to 10,000? Do I just want to round it up to see how I do this week, and then maybe Friday round it up to 5,000? The thing is to put money in your Ninjatrader account. Unfortunately, right now, I did hear, however, this is going to change soon. But to fund your Ninjatrader account, you have to do a wire transfer. And to do a wire transfer, as most of you know, most banks charge a fee. No matter if you go into the bank to do it online. I go into the bank just because I know nothing's going to get messed up. I am a young guy. I don't know much about wire transfers. I'm all about ACH, where I just plug in my routing number, plug in my account number, boom, I'm good to go. Wire transferring is a slightly bit more difficult. And I just take it into my bank, and they charge like $25 or $35 to do it. So the thing is like, I don't want to go in there and wire like $500 or even just $1,000. Like, if I'm gonna wire some money in there, I want it to be a good enough chunk to make it worth that $25, $35, if that makes sense. So we're kind of talking about, like, do I just want to kind of grow the portfolio naturally for now, while we don't necessarily rely on this money to live off of at the moment. Like, I'm doing this full time because I'm out of work currently on a leave of absence, but we're not like living off of this money. So do we just want to kind of take it easy, grow it organically for now, And then once I prove over the next month or whatever that I'm continuing to just consistently profit over time, then say by, I don't know, we're already at the end of the month, let's just say by the middle of September, I got this up to like, I don't know, 5,500 or something, for example. At that point, we'd probably just go ahead and bump it up to 10,000, deposit another 4,500 in or something like that. Make the wire transfer worth it, because I don't want to keep going back every couple weeks putting 1,000 here, 500. Like if I'm gonna deposit money, I want to deposit enough to make it where I'm not doing it anymore, if that makes sense. So that's the only complaint that I really have, honestly, when it comes to Ninjatrader, is to fund your account, you have to do a wire transfer. However, like I said, I did get confirmation that that is going to change. One of their Ninjatrader reps I was on the phone with, getting my account set up and whatnot, he told me that going through Phillip Capital. Now, I don't know about the other one. The other one's called like Dorman or something like that. Dorman, I don't know. But he said if you go with Phillip Capital as your like broker or whatever, which is pretty much Ninjatrader, if you go through Phillip Capital, he said they will be offering the ACH transfer very soon. He couldn't give me like an exact date, but he said very soon they're going to actually just be going away from wiring transferring, and it's all going to be ACH. So it'll be much easier, no fees, all that stupid BS. So once they get that settled, that'll make it much easier to like deposit money, withdraw money, all that good stuff. So definitely something for those of you that are like considering Ninjatrader to maybe keep an eye on. I'll update you guys for sure once they do that. So if you're on edge about Ninjatrader, maybe hold off for now, because I don't want you to have to like pay that $25, $35 to fund your account. It's not Ninjatrader that charges that. You'll have to check your actual bank. Like if you're with Chase, like I am, Chase charges $25, $35. I think I found out Capital One doesn't even do wire transfers, which is just retarded, which is why I'm now with Chase, because I switched from Capital One once I found that out. But some banks apparently don't even do wire transfers. So definitely just check with your bank about that. And like I said, just if you're on edge, just stick with your broker for now, in my opinion, because it sounds like within the next few weeks or so, it'll go back to just ACH transfer, which is free, saves you money, less headaches, all that good stuff. So other than that, that's just about it for this video, the stream. I don't want to drag it out too long or anything like that. Like I said, overall, what I'm looking for this week, just continuing to follow the trend until the trend's broke. From our current price level of around 11,600, first level I'll be watching is probably that 11,550 level. Well, the first one I should say is probably around 66, but the first level I'll really be watching is right around this 35 to 50 level. If this breaks, you're probably looking at testing pivot, obviously, but at that point I think you're probably talking closer to 11,488. So that's about 100 points or so from where we're at right now. Zoom this out a little bit. There we get a better look at everything. So yeah, like I said, right around that 550 level. After that, like we said, you're probably obviously going to test pivot, but I think at that point you're probably going to see a test of 11,480.85, and then at that point probably 11,400. Shows the support one being around 11,450. I can see it kind of, but I think if it falls that far, you see we had a little inverse head and shoulders right there. Kind of, not necessarily, but a little bit of inverse head and shoulders right there, and then we shot up. But yeah, I can see that as a potential support, but I think in all honesty, if it falls that far, it's probably going to go ahead and drop down to 11,400. But yeah, I mean, there's just so, that's the problem, is the bears have to take control of a lot of these pivots, supports. Like they really got to do some damage if they want to do some damage. Until then, the trend's your friend. Do I think it's a little overdone right now? Yes, I think you're probably going to see, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes red tonight. I don't know where red would be. I think red would be in the low 60s. It may not go red, but I look for it to fill the gap overnight tonight, probably retests like 68 to 70 roughly. Then it probably goes on up and tests that R1 level of 11,620. I mean, it's only 25 points away, so why not at this point? So that's what I'm looking for overnight tonight into tomorrow. I will not be trading tonight, but as you all know, I trade, like I said, the first hour or so of the market trading in the U.S. So if you want to stay updated, definitely, like I said, hop in that Discord group chat. Link for that is in the description box, of course. If you have any issues with that, just let me know in the comments below after the video uploads, and I'll see what's going on about getting you in there and whatnot. Because, like I said, it's the easiest place to just get a hold of me. I'm in there pretty much every single day during market hours, and I update you guys on my trades, my winners, my losers, when I got in, when I got out. It's not somewhere where you can just go in there and get alerts. I don't like do alerts or anything like that. Usually by the time I tell you guys that I have traded, I've literally gotten in and gotten out, because most of these trades are seconds to minutes, as most of you know. So don't think of it as like a call out group or anything like that. We just bounce a bunch of ideas off one another, and I think a lot of traders could benefit from that. So other than that, that's pretty much it for the stream. Like I said, if you enjoyed it, definitely make sure to smash the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate that. It helps the channel, helps the video. Like I said, all that YouTube algorithm BS at the end of the day. And yeah, I'm pretty happy so far. Like I said, over the first week, essentially, we're up around 800 bucks. So if we can keep that up, it'll be a nice September coming up. I mean, we still got a week left of August, but I'm looking forward to September already. And yeah, I'm excited. So like I said, we love to have you here for future videos. But until next time, guys, keep on going out there making your profits. Check the comments real quick. No more. Hopefully you guys are having a good week. Keep on going out there, making your profits, covering your profits, achieving your financial freedom this year. Stay green, cover the green. Do not let your trades go from green to red this week. And until next time, guys, take it easy.